Tesla Giga Berlin, the last three fell, work resumed, bulldozers dancing, train is being used for freight operations, and also Tesla is starting work to temporarily build its access to highway. Welcome back, our Torque News dear friends and subscribers. This is Armen Harayan from TorqueNews.com. You see that my voice may be a little sad today because I'm kind of sad for that lone last bat tree that fell, because from the drone video it looks so well. It was kind of iconic. People were kind of, even cheering for that. But now we understand from our local friends that that last tree in which bats were hibernating is fell too. Maybe not big deal for so many people, but it was history because we were reporting and chronicling at Torque News every day. And at one point, when we had the drone flight over the Giga Berlin area, that tree stood as an iconic figure, like lone tree in the middle of the felled and leveled place. But that's what we have. So as I'm going to go ahead and tell you what we have had this week until now, please subscribe to our channel because I'm going to bring you another interesting Tesla story, one possibly about Cybertruck update, another possibly about GM's Giga Power plant battery, which they're building in Lordstown, and some details, how many people will be working there, how many jobs it will create, and a few other things as much as I can do during today. Please also ring the notification bell and like this video to show your appreciation this weekend of all the local people who help us to chronicle Tesla Giga Berlin at Torque News YouTube channel. So our local friends of the events surrounding the preparation for Tesla's German Gigafactory in Grünheide, Brandenburg, report a number of interesting, perhaps minor developments on Twitter. And this is basically what has happened during this week. This was how the last pine tree was felled, which still stood on the area of over 90 hectares that had been cleared for the first phase of the Tesla construction. You know that some of you were even writing in the comments that perhaps Tesla should preserve this tree, and I supported that yes, perhaps Tesla should preserve this tree, but I'm not the only one said for this one. Looks like TeslaMag.de also is taking the notice of the last pine tree in which bats were hibernating, and Tesla preserved it for a long time. Looks like it fell. Well, maybe it didn't meet the architectural plan of Tesla Giga Berlin, and I'm sure Tesla will plant many other trees. Another user, one of our friends, Albrecht, published a bulldozer dance, and I have also that video footage in this in my previous drone update, where you can see bulldozer was kind of working very fast on the construction site. And another friend documented what was probably the first material delivered by train, gravel delivered by DRE local train for the Tesla Giga Berlin. Looks like Tesla is using that old private rail line, which I said was only 3.5 kilometers, roughly about 2 miles long, but it's a private, it doesn't belong to Deutsche Bahn, and Tesla is using it, and that can probably bring some financial benefits to that small company DRE. The pine tree had survived the clearing work of this February because it was assumed that bats were still sleeping. I'm getting back to the tree. During a check in March, it turned out that the door had already the bats were already awakened and had flown out, so that this tree was felled too. Some Tesla fans had finished the wish that it could remain in place as a symbol, like I said, or be transplanted, but apparently it was simply removed. This should have happened on Thursday, probably it had happened on Thursday, because the pine was still visible in photos from Wednesday, which I also documented and chronicled at Torque News YouTube channel. This confirmed that Tesla is making use of old private railways, also a railway line like DRE that cuts through the Gigafactory property. It's important to picture this private old train railway cuts through the Gigafactory property, and in the beginning we were unsure, and people were unsure if Tesla was interested in this, and Tesla said yes, we are interested in this, and it's confirmed. And this week, when the operations after a little standstill because of the documentation work were resumed, Tesla started using this private train railway and delivered a lot of wagons of gravel to the property to start the construction of roads inside the property of Gigafactory, and also looks like access to the A10 highway. The route is not electrified. That train route that I'm talking about by DRE is not electrified, but it is operational, and Tesla is planning documents have their own rail system drawn along the edge, said Tesla Mag. The Brandenburg state government also recently referred to the existing rail infrastructure in an answer to an official inquiry about Tesla logistics. In a Twitter user, and the Twitter user has now published pictures of what may have been Tesla's first transport on the railway line. I'm referring to our friend Jürgen, Albrecht, and some other friends who go to Giga Berlin, take pictures, take videos, take drone footages, and send them to us and post on their Twitter pages, which I also refer in the description of these videos. On them, you can see a hundreds of meters long row of open freight cars, wagons, apparently filled with coarse gravel. An excavator shovels the material for further transport on tipping trucks for the creation of new construction roads, as I reported before. What else? As early as March, Tesla had applied for the foundation for the construction to be allowed after the clearing and leveling of the Gigafactory site, which had been approved by the State Environment Agency ahead of time. This application is currently pending because it emerged that a pile foundation had to be built that is not yet included in Tesla's main application. So this was the reason of little delay that we had reported in the past few days. According to the government, the company must now first incorporate these and other changes, including water requirements, in the documents, send them to the government, and the government, it may take a week or so until they come up with approval. But the final approval is expected to be this summer. After that, Tesla doesn't need any approvals, can just go ahead with the construction. Now, however, Tesla's production targets for 2021 should still be in place. That's what we heard early this week from a government official that said despite all of these things, Tesla is still on target, and we're still looking forward to seeing the first cars rolling off the assembly line in 2021. Probably because of the pending pre-approval for the foundation as the next big step, observers have otherwise had relatively few activities to report on the Tesla construction in the past few days. You probably have noticed that on Thursday, at least one of our friends filmed over a period of 13 minutes how at least 3 yellow bulldozers drove back and forth in the same lanes parallel to the motorway. The recording, which are only published in time lapse, actually look a little in the bulldozer dance that our friend Albrecht mentioned in that report, and you can see that video on our channel published, I believe yesterday or the day before, where I was reporting about the highway access, and I showed where the exact highway access is. So this is the basic news that for this week. You probably noticed that this week was a little slow because of the Tesla's documentation upgrades, documentation changes in the documents and applications, and taking some time for the government to work on them. But if I can put them in 2-3 sentences, this is what we saw. Earlier in the week, we saw work resuming. We saw, that's what first. Second, we saw Tesla for the first time using freight train by DRE public transportation, private train, and delivering gravel to build construction areas, roads. Then third, we saw that Tesla looks like is working on making an access to the highway, so Tesla trucks temporarily can use the highway and do not go through the villages or small towns to get to the construction site faster of Gigafactory. And then fourth, we saw that the government said Tesla will have its own highway junction, which is highway interchange. It's more than an exit, it's just a huge interchange from all sides. And but we learned also that Tesla is going to pay for it. And the last thing is that we saw that lone pine tree in which bats were hibernating is cut too, fell too, and which was a symbol for many people. Well, friends, this is what I have. I hope Monday I will have more news about Gigafactory. But come back to our channel, because later today I'm going to have several more Tesla stories. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Have a wonderful weekend. Many Christians celebrate Easter this weekend, Orthodox Christians, and happy Easter to all of you and happy Resurrection Day. God bless you, everyone. Take good care of each other, and I'll see you soon in our next report. Bye-bye now.